Okay, welcome to this interactive exploration on the book called Getting Out of Debt Joyfully. This book is written by Simon Molasses, and it is one of the book that has got my attention of late. I have been reading this book since last 1 month, and it has been shifting and changing a lot of stuff in my life. And I was like, wow. More than the title that suggests that getting out of debt, I feel it is all about money. It's all about inviting money. It's all about how we are uninviting money. So it is so much more than debt. And even if you don't have any debt, still this book is going to be a phenomenal contribution. As far as I have read up until now, there has been just one chapter on debt. Otherwise, mostly it is all about a points of view around money. And I'm going to read some of the um, paragraphs, some of the questions, which are like so phenomenal, which really invite you to look at money and look at your point of views around money from a very different space. So, welcome, Dr. Praveen. So, how many of you would like to improve your financial reality? Let's have people typing in one. All those who would like to just type one on the chat. Let us see. Okay, how many of you are here really keen on improving your financial reality? How many of you perceive that um, there is a phenomenal scope for inviting more money, but for whatever reason, you feel that you have reached a threshold and you are aware that you can actually go beyond that, but there is something, some new awareness, perhaps some tools, something that you require to clear that energy and really have this flow of money with the ease that you know is possible. Yeah, cool. Okay, so we have 7 people tapping in. Ankita says clearing past expenditure and inviting more money. Of course, we are going to cover that as well. Okay, who else? So out of 15 people, only 7 people are interested. What about the rest? You don't want to change your financial reality? I'm sure all of you do. And I'm just asking this question purposefully so that get present to your financial situation right now. Whatever it is, doesn't matter how much money that you have in the bank, how much inflow you have. Get present to the energy of the money about your life, the money flow, and the points of view and the energy around money for you. Get present to it. And what can we invite in this call that would allow us to outcreate a financial reality for all eternity? Everything that doesn't allow us can be now destroyed and get all of the please. Good and bad, right and wrong, cock and pot, all 9 shorts, boys, provides and beyonds. Yeah. So there are some amazing chapters and the questions and the content are so
అదే
phenomenal.
పడుతుంది వాన చూడాలా మనకి
Cool. So I'm going to read a couple of stuff from this book, and you guys are welcome to ask questions. The name of the book is Getting Out of Debt Joyfully, written by Simon Molasses, and it is one of the Access book by Access Consciousness. Simon Molasses is one of the key, I would say, contribution to Access, and there are a lot of books that she has written. However, this book is around money and it is so phenomenal. Let me read. And please, you are welcome to ask questions. You're welcome to perhaps share your things that are going on for you. This is not going to be a facilitation call. However, it's going to be more about this book more about what this book can invite us into, and what are the possible topics that we can cover in this book. Yeah. How many of you, by the way, have read this book? Can you type in the chat two, number two? Type two in the chat. All those who have read the book, type two. Bhavish has read. Okay, very good. Bhavish, have you read it completely? Amazing. Okay, Rita has read this.
Yes, I have read it completely.
Oh,
More than one time.
I guess then. Oh, great, great. Thank you. That's amazing. And okay, so we have two people who have read this book already, and
It's
I
really
guess,
wonderful book.
and I would, in fact, would also like to take your inputs in terms of what you gained from this book, like perhaps one or two pointers of what this book invited you into, or something that changed for you after reading this book. I would even we'll go there as well. And yeah, what would you like to begin with? Shall I read the chapters, or let's go with one of the content? Cool. Cool. So I'm going to read this to you. Gary often is the story. Gary often tells a story about a lady that came to one of his money class. Yeah. A few weeks later, he rang her up to see how she was doing, and she said, "Nothing has changed." What did she say? Nothing has changed. This didn't work for me. How many of you have done classes or read books or did stuffs, and then you are like, oh, well, nothing changed? How many of you? Well, I have done that. I have experienced that, and I have been of this opinion. No, nothing has changed. Perhaps I took a session, I did a class, or whatever that was. Okay, cool. All right, good. If you could recognize that. Let me read further. He asked her why she thought that, and she said, because my bank balance is the same as it was before. Hi, Candy. Because my bank balance is the same as it was before, and that is why she says that nothing has changed. Okay. How many of you have this idea that if my bank balance is not changing, that means my financial reality is not changing? Hmm? I am one. I would have thought, yeah, okay, Rahul is saying yes. Okay. So because my bank balance is the same as it was before, that is what was her answer. Gary asked her what else had been going on recently. She told him, listen very carefully, okay? This can be hilarious or it can be serious for you. She told him, oh, well, a friend of mine bought a new car and gave away her current car to me for free. Did you hear what she said? A friend of her bought a new car and gave away her current car to me for free. Hi, Uncle. Another friend of me, another friend gave me a whole designer wardrobe that she has never worn because she didn't want it anymore. And I am currently living right on the beach in this really, where did it go? In this really nice condo rent free, while that same friend is overseas for next 6 months. Gary said to the woman, you have a new car, a new wardrobe, and an amazing place to live, and you think nothing has changed? You have just received thousands of dollars worth of things in the last few weeks. How is that not more money in your life? The woman had only been open to seeing the money in her life as cash in the bank. But how much would it have cost her to buy a car, a designer wardrobe, or to pay rent where she was living? Yeah. So the topic is money isn't just cash. Yeah. So there are so many ways that money and cash flows can come into your life. But if you are not willing to acknowledge them, if you think they have to look in a certain way. You are going to think you are not changing things when in fact you are. What if you were willing to have all the ways that money can show up into your life and more? Hmm? Well, this is question for all of you. What if you were willing to have all the ways that money can show up in your life and more? How many of you would choose that? Everything that doesn't allow that, can we all now just run and get all of that, please? Good and bad, right and wrong, talk and forward, all nine choice, boys, provides and beyonds. Candy, I don't have the page number. This is Kindle, so there are only percentage.
Okay,
Whole
what was the
percentage.
the topic of the chapter?
Money isn't just the cash. That's first chapter.
Okay.
And this second or third topic. Are you willing? I love this question. Are you willing to give up predicting, controlling, and working it out, and go on the journey of asking for what you truly desire to have as your financial reality, and receive the adventure of it showing up in a ways you cannot currently imagine? Yes, and everything that doesn't allow that, and everywhere we are not willing to have such a phenomenal life, phenomenal possibilities with money. Can we now just run and get all of that, please? Good and bad, right and wrong, pock and pod, all nine shorts, boys, provides and beyond. So welcome with cool. I love this one sentence. Um, regardless, regardless of what is in your bank account, very few people actually have a sense of ease and peace and abundance with money. How many of you can relate with this? So, yeah. No worries, Nivedita. As long as you are able to hear, happy. If you are just like about everybody on the planet, okay, if you are just like about everybody on the planet, you tend to judge yourself about the amount of money you have and don't have. How many of you here come under this category? Okay. The funny thing is, it doesn't matter whether you have a lot of money or little. Most people have tons and tons of judgments around money. Yes? Regardless, and I am repeating this again, regardless of what is in their bank account, very few people actually have a sense of ease and peace and abundance with money. So, if you truly desire to change your financial reality, giving up judgment is going to have to be one of your primary steps in the process. What do you have to give up? Giving up your judgment about money. And throughout this book, there are different energies that addresses the different judgments that we have around money. Yeah. And there are tools to look at these points of view from a different perspective. Yeah. No worries, Kamal. So, yeah. So let's see what else. And I love this statement. Like, what has to change for us to give up our judgment? Says, of course, there is a couple of sentences. I'm not going reading that. I'm just reading this one sentence. You have to choose to stop yourself in that moment of judgment. Whenever you're judging, you have to choose. You have to choose. Okay, it is a choice. Okay. Hi, Malika. Hi, Komal. You have to choose to stop yourself in that moment of judgment and make the demand of yourself that you will no longer judge or go to some limited thoughts or conclusion. Well, how much of us, I would use this word, courageous enough enough to make a demand of yourself as to never go into judgment of yourself about money. With each judgment of what you have decided is not possible, yeah, get present. Like, get present to all the things that you actually desire right now. Let's just close your eyes. Just get present to all the things that you desire in life. And also get present to your ifs and buts of why you can't have it right now. I desire this, however, I desire this, but, okay, get present to that. Yeah. So what happens is when you start believing based on bunch of thoughts, feelings, and emotions and judgments and conclusions that money can only show up in certain ways. Yes or no? Like really look at your revenue sources, income sources, and how many of us have already decided that money can only come from these sources. I do that. Yeah. And that money cannot show up in other ways than what we have decided is possible or likely. Yeah. With each judgment of what you have decided is not possible, you blind yourself to anything that could show up beyond your limited point of view. Just like the lady Gary spoke to, who had created all this amazing stuff, worth a lot of money coming into her life, but decided nothing had changed because her bank balance was the same. Yeah. So, yes. So if you are willing to let go of your judgments around money, you can begin to see possibilities that you previously considered impossible in your life and invite more and more to come to you. How many of you would love that? If you are willing to let go, yeah, thank you for raising hands. If you are willing to let go of your judgments around money, you can begin to see possibilities that you previously considered impossible in your life. Get present to all the things that you consider impossible in your life right now. Like impossible to have, impossible to perhaps visit, impossible to own certain things. Get present. What are those things that are impossible at this point of time for you? At least for next 5 years, it may be possible perhaps in 10 years down the line in your according to your point of view, but what is impossible currently right now? Of course, some of them may be impossible in this lifetime. And everything that you bought up, everything that this bought up can be now destroyed all of the please. Good, bad, right, wrong, awkward, all natures, boys and beyonds, and all the judgments that you have is just an interesting point of view. You are going to make them as true as you want them to be. Yeah. Cool. So there is chapter about what brings you joy and following the joy of money. So I love this one particular sentence. The energy you create when you are having fun, when you are totally happily engaged in something you love, is generative. Pay attention to the word generative. Okay, it doesn't matter how you are able to create that energy. Also, it doesn't have to be directly related to what you do currently that makes money. Remember, we are giving up linear cause and effect. Okay, we are giving, so this entire chapter is, I mean, it's more about that money creation is not linear. You understand what is linear? If I do take step one and step two, then I can create this much amount of money. That is linear creation. Yeah. So generative energy, that is energy of what is generative energy? Energy of joy. Yeah. Generative energy contributes to your life and your business, no matter when, how, where, and why you create it and what you created. Can you just get the essence of the sentence? Generative energy, that is the energy of joy, contributes to your life and to your business. No matter when, how, where, and why you create it and with what you create it with. Yeah. So
Can you repeat the last part again, please?
it says generative energy, that is the energy of joy, contributes to your life and your business. No matter what you create it with, no matter how you create it with, no matter where you create it with, no matter why you create it with.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But the thing is, we don't really get to ask to know, we don't really get asked to know what brings us joy, and then seek out innumerable ways we can make money for the fun of it. Yeah. So it may take some time for us to get clear on what truly does bring you joy? Many of us here may have clarity. Would you be willing to start asking yourself anyway and choose whatever it is? Yes. And Gary says, your life is your business and your business is your life. So, what if the business of living was the business you are really in? Business of living, like those of you who are even working, perhaps, like you are actually into business. And Gary gives a interesting perspective here, interesting question to ask. What if the business of living was the business you are really in? No matter what you actually did for a job, what energy are you running your life with? Are you having any fun at all? Yeah. Mhm. Cool. So yeah, there are some more topics. One of the topic he has is shared is about what changes debt, like the point of view around debt and how we can change. So I'm just going to read one para on this. It says debt is just a choice. Money is just a choice. They don't really want to know it. Like, okay, it says often when I say to people, debt is a choice, money is just a choice, they don't really want to know it. They would prefer to judge themselves rather than have a look at what are currently creating as their money reality. Hmm? You, you may ask yourself, if debt is just a choice, why do I have it? What have I done wrong? Why haven't I got it right? How many of you do this? Huh? Please don't judge and please don't blame and go into the wrongness of you. What if nothing you have ever been or done is wrong? Like this is a great question. Just get a sense of expansiveness in this question. What if, yeah, nothing you have ever been is wrong, and what if nothing you have ever done is wrong? For some of you, it may be too difficult to even digest and even consider this, to even ask a question about. But yeah, it got you to this moment, seeking something different, perhaps being on this call, reading this book, and searching for other possibilities with money, right? So, what if now is the perfect time to choose something different? Would you choose it? Yeah, cool. So there are a lot of tools that are shared in this chapter one, and a lot of amazing questions. Like amazing question. Like one of the question they have a lot of questions. I'm going to read one of them. What do you love about being in debt and having no money? What do you love about being in debt and having no money? And believe me, I mean, of course, you don't have to believe me. It really takes a lot of courage to be vulnerable with yourself and being true and honest with this when you ask this question. One of the first thing that most of us would do is dismiss this as, no, why would I uh, choose that? Like, why would I choose to have lack of money? But what if you can just reverse it? Like if you actually can tell yourself, well, what if I'm choosing debt? What if I'm choosing lack of money? Hmm? Well, I'm not saying you do. I'm just inviting you to explore by yourself and get a sense of lightness when you ask that question. Cool. Um, there was an amazing chapter on stop avoiding and refusing money. Like how many times we avoid money in life? Like how many times, especially when you are good at something, like you're like extraordinarily good at something, so you don't have any value for that kind of um, skill that you have. Like you are not willing to receive money for those kind of skills that because it comes so naturally and easily to you. Yeah. Hmm. Okay, I'm going to read this one. Are you living in a no choice universe? Are you living in a no choice universe? How many of you right now here get present to this thing? Like where you have decided in your life that you don't have a choice right now. You have to either compromise, you have to put up with whatever your situation is, and you have decided that you don't have a choice, you have to change the situation. Get present to those areas of your life right now? Where have you decided that you have no choice? I can only choose this. I can't have that. I can only choose to have money only if I work hard. I can choose to have money only if I do something that I don't love. Yeah, are you getting what I'm saying? I get present to those stuff. I have to, yeah, wherever you have, like, I have to do this. I don't have a choice. Get present to all of that. Good. I'm going to read this now. For years, for okay, Ankita saying I have a choice, but fatigue, lack of creation action. Okay. For years, I avoided relationship. I will say I don't do relationship. I am not doing a relationship. I am never getting married. I am never having kids. I looked around me and I couldn't see a relationship that seemed to work. How many of you have that point of view? Or perhaps you want to hide that from yourself also. I could not see people who looked like they were having fun in their relationship. So my point of view, which actually was the conclusion, was I am not doing relationship. With that decision, I was shutting out everything else that was possible. I was creating a no choice universe and a no choice reality. One day I realized that is what I was choosing, and I began to ask myself, what if I were willing to be in a relationship? What if I were willing to receive that possibility? What if I let go of everything I have decided and concluded about relationship, because I recognize that all of those assumptions were creating huge limitation for me. That's an amazing question. What is the worst that could happen if you don't avoid money? If you didn't avoid money? Cool. There's this amazing chapter that says, how do you create a new financial reality right away? How many would desire that energy? Like, get to see that, get a sense of this energy. How do you create a new financial reality right away? Such a yummy energy, isn't it? Okay, I'm just going to read two paragraphs which I have underlined. If you really desire to create a financial reality that is different and greater than the one you currently have, and then you are going to have to look at the choices you are currently making. And if they are not leading you in the direction you truly desire to go, change them. Every choice you make creates something. What do you desire to create with your choices? I love this. There is this another part. This is about where we choose to go into overwhelm, where we choose to go into anxiety, where we choose to be going to feeling cranky. Okay, that is this one amazing thing that he has shared. Okay, just giving a hands up. I do not know for how long I'm going to read this and how many things we're going to cover. I'm just going to get the energy of this book, okay, in bits and pieces. All right, and we'll see where we go with that. Okay, so this is, I think, Dane. That Dane or Simon? I think, yeah, Simon. Years ago, I was going to lunch with some friends and I was cranky and grumpy. How many of you have been there and done that? As we are walking to the restaurant, okay, thank you. As we were walking to the restaurant, a friend asked me, why are you choosing that? Why are you choosing that? I said, I am not choosing this. And I continued to walk along. I said, I'm not choosing this. All the while thinking that I'm not choosing this, I am not. And says, wait, am I really choosing this? Can I change it? My word felt instantly lighter. By the time we got to the restaurant, I said to my friend, wow, I get it. I am choosing this. I am choosing frankness. Now, amazing. This part is amazing. A lot of people don't think that they have the choice to be sad, happy, cranky, or relaxed. I'll read it again. A lot of people don't think that they have a choice to be relaxed, that they have a choice to be cranky, or they have a choice to be happy, or they have a choice to be sad. We are taught to believe that external circumstances create the way we feel about things, but actually it is just a choice. When I read this, like get present, like external circumstances is what really makes us feel in a certain ways what we believe. And to be honest, when I read this, I said, fuck it. This is just for theory. In reality, if I get a lottery tomorrow, if I get a lot of students for certain classes, and if I get something amazing, I'm going to be happy. I'm not going to be sad and grumpy there. Okay, so I do recognize that external situation do contribute, okay, to what you feel and what you know, what state you are in, how you are experiencing. However, it takes a really immense courage and vulnerability to really go in depth and see that it is not actually about external circumstances. It is actually about your choice. How many times you had in your life something amazing happening, but you were sad inside, or you were not very happy because because of your internal state. How many times there were amazing people who are willing to contribute to your life, but you looked at that one problem of your life and you said, my life sucks. And you ignore all those amazing 5, 10 other people who are willing to contribute, but because you were expecting a contribution only from one person. Like how many times you get different sources of money, but just because one person didn't pay you the money, you are going to be cranky and grumpy and complaining about that one source of money that that you didn't receive money from. And we are not in gratitude for so many other number of sources. Yeah. So it says you have to teach yourself to recognize that you have a choice, even in situations where you normally assume that you have none. What if you would begin to look at all the places where you thought you didn't have a choice and ask, okay, if I were going to flex my choice muscles in this situation, instead of pretending I don't have any choice, what could I choose right now? What an amazing question. What an amazing invitation. Yeah. So if you are currently having an upset with money or struggle with money, be aware that it is your choice. You are creating it that way. And you can choose something else if it is not working for you. You just have to start and you just have to choose. How amazing, huh? What else? There is also something about financial abuse. I was just reading it today morning about this. I don't know how many of you could relate. Let me read it. Okay. Let me see who else is there. Okay, fine. Financial abuse can also take the form of parent. Why are we unconsciously creating struggles? Yeah, that's what we are exploring, Ankita. There are 101 reasons why we are choosing that. And it's not about it's not even we are doing it unconsciously. A lot of things are below our level of awareness. We are doing it by choice. When you say unconsciously, that is where we are giving a power, as if something else is in control of us. Yeah. I think the entire book, this book is about you really coming to this point and looking at things that you are choosing this and you can choose something else. Like the stories that you're telling right now as to why you can't change your money reality. Yeah. How much of that is even true? Okay. So there are a lot of different examples of different stories of how we believe, like we are really convinced that our limitation is really true. Like whatever you're struggling with and whatever you have decided why you are struggling with, that is really true. Yeah. So it's all about really getting to the space of that it is a choice and you can choose something different. Okay. So, financial abuse can also take the form of a parent keeping a child dependent and under their control. And I would like to assume that there are no children here who have parents. We were talking about this once in a class, and someone said, I just realized that my father or mother, I mean, you can relate to whomsoever in your life. I just realized that my father, mother, wants me to be dependent on them financially so that they can feel worthy as a father or as a mother. Ta-da! That did I just push a button? I see how much of my reality around money is based on the desire and attempt to fulfill my father or my mother's desire to feel useful and vital in the role. Yeah, Tara is saying yes. And in order for her to feel that, I have to be useless and dependent. How many of you are here pretending to be useless and dependent? Hmm?
So my experience is the other way around. I
Yeah,
realized till a while ago that I wanted my father to be dependent on me for money so that I felt important and I felt like the daughter that I was, so it was the reverse of the way he's saying, but yeah.
yeah. So, yeah, if someone is requiring you to depend on them for money, is that a form of abuse? Yes, it is. Do you have to continue to live by that story now? No, you don't. You have a different choice. You can recognize you received financial abuse in the past and choose not to have it run your life. Mhm. You don't have to make it real. You have about a million other choices for your reality with money at least. And pretty much all of them are much more fun. How about choosing some of those now? So Vaibhavi and Gaurav are saying yes to this. Cool. There is also one amazing topic about struggling with money. Like how much of energy is there about, how much of energy of struggle is there around money? Around having more money or around really trying to actualize things that you want. Like there is a struggle instead of an energy of invitation. Yeah, there's a struggle. Hmm. Okay, there's this amazing question. Being afraid is one of the biggest lies we perpetrate against ourselves. Do you really have fear about money or losing money or going bankrupt? Do you really have fear at all? Or when some emergency happens, do you handle it and then break down later to prove how horrible it was for you? Oh God, these are incredible. And there is this like, what if being brutally honest with yourself was having the vulnerability with you to never lie to yourself ever again? What amazing invitation. Hmm? So I guess uh, a lot of this is going to be about you really becoming vulnerable to see how much are you already lying to yourself and how much you have already convinced yourself that you are speaking the truth about your limitation of the money. Yeah. So yeah, so first three chapters are about a certain topic. There's a part two here. It's more about how to invite money, and there are some amazing questions that are covered in this chapter. And there are also how to make yourself aware of your current financial situation. Those of you who have done foundation, a part of this is covered there. And I think that is what has really um, helped me to change my money reality. So there are some amazing tools that are shared here as to how you can really change your money reality here. And let me read one more chapter. Stop being vested in the outcome. Like how many of us are right now vested on the outcome? Like you desire your life to show up in a particular way and you are so much vested, and every time you're not able to change that, you have to judge yourself. You have to judge your financial condition. Yeah. Like when it comes to making choices in life, how vested are you in the outcome before you even get started? Well, this is me. Like how many, like amazing question. Like when it comes to making choices in life, forget about just financial, any choice. Okay. when it comes to making choices in life? How vested are you in the outcome before you even get started? Hmm? I have some information for you. Whatever you have decided, it must show up as is often a limitation. Whatever you decided, it must show up as is often a limitation. If you have decided that your life has to show up in a certain way, that is a limitation, is what she's saying. The universe is capable of delivering far greater. Okay, so get present to your life, not just your financial reality, but your relationship reality, your career reality. If you have decided that it has to show up in a certain way, saying the universe is capable of delivering far greater than what you have decided as to how it has to show up. It wants to give you the entire ocean of what is possible, but you are sitting there on the beach looking at one grain of the sand. If you gave up being vested in how things show up, how could they show up way beyond what you currently imagine? What if instead of believing you need a particular result in your life, you are committed to making choices that totally expanded your life and your living, no matter what they actually look like? How many of you would have that? Hmm? What can you do to have more ease with making choices that will expand your future and create more money? This can be a question that you can play around with. What can you do to have more ease with making choices that will expand your future and create more money? Wow, I love this chapter. Giving up believing in success, giving up believing in failure, giving up believing in needs, and giving up believing in wants. How many of us have this inherent need to succeed? And how many of us have decided how the success has to look like? And how many of you have already decided what is failure for you? And how many of you are judging for that? Are you willing to step into looking, change that? Yeah. So this chapter is, yeah, amazing. I've done that. Yeah. Hmm. I'm going to read one particular topic. Necessity and choice. Teresa is saying, I'm just not breathing. Oh my God. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome to what is possible, and welcome to a new invitation of what requires change now. Necessity and choice. Last year, I came home after being on a tour for what I felt like 5,000 years. After being used to living in a hotel rooms that were always serviced and then walking into our home that had dust and grime from renovations, I got cranky that things were not right about the house. I complained. I wish just once I could walk into this house and everything was in place and everything was spotless. Brendan asked me, what are you doing? What is behind all of this? And I said, I don't want to play house anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to come home and the laundry is filled with washing, and then there are dishes to do. I actually love being at home, but the energy I created with the upset was not really creative. It was contracted. How many times we do this? Yeah. I started concluding from an anger, a frustration that I have to deal with this, that it is a necessity and a problem, that there is no way out. I wasn't looking at what I would like to create. I was thinking that I didn't have a choice about the state of the house. Brendan said, we are earning enough money. We could hire someone. I know we have a cleaner once in a week, and we could hire someone else to come in a couple of hours and do this. And he was right. Once I took a moment to breathe and look at it, I asked, you know what? I would look, I would like my house to be like this. I would like to choose to do this. Every time, everything became a whole lot easier the moment I chose that. Instead of concluding that I had to deal with it in a certain way, like, having to clean up the house as a necessity, I could see the choices that I had. I could let it be dirty, I could clean it myself, or I could choose to hire someone to clean it for me And I'm sure there are even more choices available that I have not even considered. Just like success and failure are lie, so are the needs and wants. For you, it is really just about choice, awareness, and more choices. And that is how you create money, by choosing and choosing and choosing again. If you choose not to judge you or anything in your life, you can no longer believe you are a failure or that you lack. I'm going to repeat this. If you choose not to judge you or anything in your life, you can no longer believe you are a failure or that you lack. When you choose to never judge you, you begin to see that the right and the wrong, the good and the bad, and all of that polarity is neither real or true. And that all you have to do is choose more or less of what you desire. It is totally up to you. Yeah. How amazing, no? Like if you can really step into that space of never ever having to judge yourself for anything, how amazing that space would be. And you always know that you always have a choice to change situation. Yeah. And yeah. And there is this amazing, I love something about this book. There are two more chapters, have and be in allowance, be willing to be out of control. Both are some amazing, they contain some amazing questions. And the best part is it has a summary. This entire book has a summary of list of tools from each chapter, list of takeaways from each of the chapter. And it's amazing. Like I actually wanted to do this. I think when I did the first time, the money is not the problem. You are. I actually created some questions from each of the chapter. And when I looked at this, I was like, oh my God, half of my, like almost 90 to 100% of the work is almost done here. A list of tools, list of questions, list of things that you can, go back to, list of things that you can, stick around and really become present to that on an everyday basis. It's amazing. Also, something that I didn't observe earlier, it also contains me. Let me ensure that what I'm going to say is from this book because I've been reading a couple of books. I just want to, yeah, stories of change. So it contains some amazing stories of change and some of the amazing facilitators like Christopher Hughes, David, Gary, Dane, Simon, Brendan. They all are sharing their own personal stories of change with with using these tools. So they are amazing. I would say treasure house of amazing choices, amazing questions, and how they were operating and how they changed their life. So that is about this book, and we are going to. I think there are some 14 chapters, and there are a lot of interviews that we'll read through. We are going to practically be doing this over next 10 calls. We're starting from tomorrow. This book club, 1 hour is what I perceive should be sufficient enough. Let us see how the energy goes. So from tomorrow till 23rd, just a day before Chota Diwali, we are going to have every day from evening 7:30 to 8:30 in the evening. And for this, we have a couple of registration already. And for the first 10 registration, we are also going to have one gift SOP tester session, group SOP tester session for any one area of your life. And yeah, so what else? What else can we invite with this book club? And how much beyond money can we change and shift through this book club? Because though the topic is about getting out of debt joyfully, the way I look at it is how to create your life that you truly desire joyfully. That is another name of the topic. The name of the book that I perceive the energy of reading the chapters is about how to create the life you desire joyfully. And how many of us are already aware that that is possible? And how many of us are frustrated or making ourselves wrong because things don't show up, and then the joy and other things, it almost feels that we don't have a choice there. You cannot create and have all of these joyfully. But what if the stories that you're telling is not really true? And that is what we are going to explore. And yeah, Any questions? Anything that you have, you can ask now. I think I have priced it at 4,999, approximately 5,000 rupees. So for the 10 calls, and you will get the recordings of the call. You would have some home play after every each of uh, the call that we do, and you will have access to the recording, access to these tools to do home play. And what else? Yeah, some of the quotes that we have already picked up, some of the important quotes that you can have it as a reminder. Yes, and any facilitation that you personally would like to have during the call are also welcome. So that is about for today. If you have any questions, we'll take it, or else we can call it a day. And I'll see you some of you tomorrow. And you're welcome to join. I have my own group called Creating Enchanting Life. That is my personal group. I have other groups, smaller groups for some particular creation. Like a couple of you would have joined just this book club group, which is temporary, going to be temporary. So yeah. So thank you so much for hanging out with me, exploring the energy of this book. And I'll see some of you tomorrow and for the rest of the next 10 days. And I'm also having another book club coming up from 18th, that is Fairy Tale Family. I love that book. Any of you who have things going on with your family members, with people in particular, I must recommend if you would join the book club, I'm more than happy. However, even if you can get hold of the book and read it, it's phenomenal book. I knew the book had the energy for, and I bought this book way back 3 years before. However, um, recently I was drawn to this book to read, and it's amazing, phenomenal. This call, so doing this book club for 6 days for 1.5 hours. So this book club is going to be 10 calls, approximately 10 hours. That book is going to be for approximately 9 hours, around over 6 calls. It is going to be in the afternoon though, from 3:30 to I think 2:30 to 4 o'clock is what I'm going to have. I'm going to start from next Tuesday or Monday, whatever that date is, 18th. What is that? 18 is, yeah, next Tuesday. So yes, you're welcome to join any of them, or you can just hang out in the group. I keep having a couple of things, some invitation to some new challenges for you to start using the tools that you have already learned. Like how many of you have abundant of tools and not really using them? Yeah. So my target is to for myself is also to use the tools that I've learned and also empower others along the way. Yes, Anshal, you are welcome. So the way you got access to this to join this today's call, there is already a group. Getting out of that joyfully, I will share my personal group also in that, the link. You're welcome to join that. Yeah. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Rahul. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Seema. Thank you, Ranjan. Thank you, Dolly, Dr. Pallavi. Cool. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful time. And I'll see you tomorrow, some of you here. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you
Bye.
so much. Thank you.
Yeah,
Bye bye.
welcome. Thank you.